Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, invite a friend if you know somebody that needs some great information. Welcome to the Rich Lounge. Listen, this is the Clarity Project. So if you are at a place where you're seeking some clarity in your life, you want to get to the bottom of it. You know, your next level sometimes is tied up in your ability to find clarity. Tonight is all about clarity, and my goal is really for tonight is not really to encourage you. It's not really to motivate you. You already motivated. You already encouraged, right? So my job is going to be a little gut wrenching, right? Expose the lies that we've been telling ourselves, and how to identify the lies that we've been telling ourselves, so we can get clarity, get to the next level, and see actually what that looks like. All right. So I'm gonna give you a second. You might want to get something to write with. Because I'm going to be dropping some serious information. Welcome to the Clarity Project. Tonight isn't about motivation, right? It really isn't about making you feel good. Basically, tonight is about an investigation, right, into ourselves, right? So when you want to get to the bottom of something, the best way to do it is to figure out what's the root of it via investigation. The why. You know what I'm saying? Like we can explain that things are occurring, but a lot of times we can explain why, right? So tonight I'm not putting anyone on trial. You know what I'm saying? I am not putting anyone on trial, but what I will be doing is putting your excuses on trial. It is very thought provocative because I want to put your excuses on trial. And there's some people that I'm speaking directly to, and I'm looking at the camera and I'm talking to you, you, all of us who dwell in excuses, right? Most people spend their lives calculating the cost of change, right? Everybody's afraid of change because they're calculating the cost of change. Very few people ever calculate the cost of staying the same. Have you thought about that? While people are out there calculating the cost of changing, have you ever thought about calculating the cost of remaining the same? And sometimes that invoice of remaining the same is a lot more expensive than change. So open up your mind and your hearts and be able to put yourself in a situation where you can change, or at least you're optimistic about change. What are you talking about, Richard? One of the key things that people were talking about is artificial intelligence, AI, right? So a lot of people don't believe in it, whatever the case is. Some are calling it the mark of the beast and Big Brother's watching, whatever you want to call it. It is change, and it is coming to a community near you. It probably has already affected your life and will be more than ever in the very near future. It is changing and evolving every day. So why is this important to understand? Is because if you do not change with it, if you do not evolve or engage yourself in artificial intelligence or AI, there will be a cost associated. You may not pay that cost today, but at some point, there will be a cost associating with your inability to adapt to change. And that's just food for thought. It's not if, it's when it's happening. And there is an expense that's tied to artificial intelligence. And that expense is your ability to take time to try to understand it a little bit and try to know what it's all about. If not, there will be a cost for it later. Why we're talking about investigation, evidence, things of that nature, because I used to be an investigator. So we're going to test my skills and see what I really know, right? So for this hour, I don't want you believing in something different. I want you to see it different. I want you to see things from a different perspective, right? I didn't come here tonight to tell you the truth. I came here tonight to expose the lie. And the lie you've been agreeing with, and the lie you've been telling yourself. Because the lie isn't just living in your head anymore. It's been making your decisions. So What are you talking about? Everyone has an excuse at some point in their life. And every excuse that we have, there's an invoice attached to it. Every excuse costs you something. And every delay costs you something. Every postponed decision is going to cost you something. You have to figure out what that is. And think about it. Here's some reality checks. Procrastination. What has procrastination already cost you? What's the invoice on you procrastinating? What opportunity have you already watched pass by? What relationship changed because you never had that conversation? Because you never said those words, because you never pulled that individual to the side. You never made that phone call. What relationship changed because you never had that conversation? What dream quietly became a memory because you kept saying later, next week, next year, next month? What dream quietly became a memory because you kept saying later? I call this quote, and I'm going to let you can steal it, you can use it, put it on the internet. I call it Richardism. Here, that's a quote basically by me, Richard. Comfort is not free. It just sends an invoice later. Ooh, that hit home for somebody. Comfort is not free. It just sends an invoice later. So if you think you're comfortable and you're avoiding life, I got some wake up news for you, right? So here's the deal. My father, who's probably listening, he allows me to use him as an example. So my father had an old flip phone, and I had been trying to get him to get a smartphone. And he said, "No, son, I'm comfortable." My mom was comfortable. My pops was comfortable with the flip phone. Got a camera on it and everything. And I said, "Dad, the world is evolving. Technology is evolving. You're going to have to get rid of the flip phone and get a smartphone." But here's the truth of the matter. He wanted to stay comfortable. There was an invoice. They stopped making the type of flip phones he was comfortable with. So the invoice wasn't paid at the moment, but it was paid about a year later, where he had to learn to use a smartphone. So you can either pay the price now or pay the price of regret later. And I you know what happened to that story, right? So it's just, are you guys tracking? Somewhere, without realizing it, you signed an agreement. Somewhere in this universe, theoretically speaking, virtually speaking, mentally, emotionally speaking, somewhere you signed an agreement. And this is just who I am. I'm too old. It's too late. I'm too late. It's probably as good as life gets. Are you one of those people? Did you sign an agreement saying to yourself, this is just who I am? Did you sign an agreement? Did you say to yourself, I'm too old? Are you one of those people? I'm too old. I'm too late. This is probably as good as life gets. Are you guilty? My best days are behind me. Wow. How many people say that? Be honest with yourself. My best days are behind me. I lived as long as I'm going to live. Wow. Who gave you that permission to compromise your future and your belief system? Who gave you permission to believe that lie, that you're too old, that it's too late, that your better years are behind you, that you've lived longer than what you're going to live? Who told you it was okay to lie to yourself? I don't know. Ask yourself. I hear this more than I would like to hear. That my best days are behind me. Every time I hear that, what I hear is this is a legitimate way of saying that I have somewhat given up. This is a way of us confessing to ourselves that it is easy to conform to that statement than to actually make the change. The most dangerous contract that you'll ever sign is the one you make with your own excuses. Can anybody relate? I'm just trying to help somebody. So, here's something I want you to think about. Let's talk about an audit. Like if we did an audit, and some of y'all may have saw I posted it on social media about if I was to secretly record your last 30 days, will it be consistent with your behaviors of the change that you say you want to see? So if someone was filming your last 30 days, would it be conducive to where you say you want to be? Will it show the evidence that you're heading in the direction? I don't know. That's a question you need to ask yourself. Now let's talk about the audit, right? Here's the thing about the audit. If we audited the last 30 days, will I see preparation or will I see procrastination? I'm going to ask that question again. If I audited the last 30 days of your life, will I see preparation or procrastination? I don't know. So, show me your calendar and I'll tell you where your priorities are. Most people calendars, if it's filled with stuff, it's probably meetings from work, doctor's appointments, right? Things that are mandated. Rarely do you see your own priorities on your calendar. Most often, the priorities that are on your calendar are related to your mandated doctor's appointments or your work appointments. What about yourself? So show me your calendar and I'll let you know what your priorities are. I'll try to help somebody, right? So here's the deal. And I said something about habits. If you're frozen in time or you're unsure what direction you need to go, or that thing that you want to happen for you, if it's not happening the way that you would like it to happen, have a conversation with your habits. Most often our habits are interfering with our ability to receive the things that we say we want. So what are your practices? What are your habits? I don't know. Ask yourself that question. Today's conversation really is about agreement. And this is everything to do with clarity. With clarity. Why all these things matter when it comes to clarity is because this is kind of like a blurred vision when all these things exist. Excuses, right? Not being intentional, giving up. My best days are behind me. You know what I'm saying? The lie that we tell ourselves, like, here's the thing. A lot of us have been institutionalized by society. A lot of us has been institutionalized by the government. The government tells you to retire at 62, so we do it. We work until we're 62. And then the government says, you know what, if you're not that bad off and you're not about to keel over at 62, it's okay to work to 67. And we'll hold your Social Security into a certain number. And we do exactly what they tell us to do. Work for 20 years. Pour into a system for 20 years. 25, 30. Society tells us when we can get old, and we do exactly what society tells us. You're 62 years old. Lay down somewhere. Get ready for your maker. You know what I'm saying? No. Stop believing the lie. It's a system. It's a system that we all fall into, and then we drink the Kool-Aid. Why? Why? Who told you your best years were behind you? That's an agreement that you made with yourself. So tonight is about exposing all the lies that we tell ourselves. I got a question for you. And this is not about your age. It's about your agreement with comfort. At what age did you stop expecting more from yourself? At what age did you stop expecting more from yourself? Not your children, not your employer, but from yourself. What have you quietly accepted that 10 years ago you promised yourself and never settled for? Like you settled at some point. You have quietly accepted something about your life, and maybe the world does not even know that you've quietly settled. Rather it's in a relationship, giving up on a dream, giving up on your health, giving up on your status. You've quietly accepted this. And for those who have somewhat found comfort, I got a question for you. Have you become so responsible that you stop becoming? That's a deep one. I got a question for you. Have you become so responsible that you stop becoming? This whole thing called life is really based on becoming. Think about it. See, a lot of us, the goal is to be able to pay bills, to keep the bill collector away from us, right? To stay healthy, right? We come up with these comfortable ways of living, and it keeps us in a place where we're settled, and we stop desiring more, and we start saying things that we hear other people say. It's a little too late. You know what I'm saying? But I'm one of those, the best is yet to come type persons. You know what I'm saying? Experience in life, I believe, should make you wiser, not smaller. See, some of us got experience and shrunk. Some of us get life experience and get fearful of the experience that we've seen and all the things we've been exposed to, and all those experiences. Sometimes it shrinks us, as opposed of allowing us to grow. And the older we get, the more we know accountability and what that feels like to lose. So we don't want to lose. And this is what causes us to shrink. Because if we shrink small enough, we'll fit anywhere. I'm just trying to help somebody. Think about that. I want you to think about cost. And if you were paying for something and there was an invoice, my question to you is, why is your future paying for decisions your present refuse to make? Ooh. Some of y'all might get that tomorrow. Your future keep paying for decisions your present refuses to make. I'm just trying to help somebody. Don't get mad at me. I told you, tonight is not about feeling good. It's not about motivation, inspiration. It's about exposing the lies we tell ourselves. And if we can get rid of the lies, we can get more clarity. If we can get rid of all the things and all the agreements that we signed illegitimately, we signed these agreements in our head and we stuck to them. Why? It's pretty deep. So think about this. Write this down. Your future keeps paying for decisions your present refuses to make. Why? All right. Let's talk about opportunity blindness. This is one of my favorite topics. Opportunity blindness. And this is for those who have opportunities right in their grasp. It's right in front of you, but you can't see. Sometimes things are hidden right in plain view. You know, that's why I say you got to be careful with the prescription that you're wearing. The prescription that you wear in your glasses are specific to you. Not everyone's going to see clear with your prescription. Think about that. Just because people around you can't see it, don't mean that it wasn't intended for you to see. The greatest opportunities in your life may not be hidden. They may be simply hidden in your routine. Oh, that's deep. Some of y'all didn't get that. I'm going to say it again. The greatest opportunities in your life may not be hidden. They may simply be hidden by your routine, because you have a regiment and a mundane routine. You probably are not being exposed to your opportunities. And here's a reality check. What are you doing every single day that guarantees that tomorrow will look exactly like yesterday? I'm pausing because I'm letting that sit. See, some of us won't change, but we're doing the same thing every day, and it guarantees that tomorrow will look exactly like yesterday. Are you guilty of that? It's going to be deep tonight. All right, so free. Why is the word free so important for this segment? Free is because a lot of us are carrying luggage, and I'm not being cliche. I'm talking about all my kings, my queens, kids, everybody. I don't care. You know I have pastors, attorneys, doctors, people that are struggling, cashiers, like everyone from A to Z listens, police chiefs, like they're all on here. So I'm not afraid to free us, because I don't care how successful you are or how much in poverty that you are, how much life is got you in a tailspin. Everyone could benefit from this. My question to you, and you're going to get freed by your answer, not mine. My question to you is, what are you still blaming that no longer has authority over your life? I'll wait. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what are you still blaming that no longer has authority over your life? If you can understand that question, you are now free. All the bondage of all the hurt, the infidelity, the letdown, the brokenness, the childhood trauma, the death, being looked over, being passed over, the betrayal, the letdown, the disappointment. What are you still blaming that no longer has authority over your life? Think about that. What part of your life looks successful from a distance, but quietly is falling apart up close? Y'all not ready. I said I was going deep. I want to know. What part of your life looks successful from a distance, but up close, it's falling apart? Tonight is about the agreement. Are you agreeing to live the lie? See, some of us are only as good as our ability to mask the reality. So don't worry about the person next to you. They could be doing worse than you. They can have a bigger house, a bigger car, a bigger paycheck. No one's better than the next person. Some people look successful from a distance, but up close, they're falling apart. Yes, so this is about an investigation into our hearts, into our lives, and into where we are. See, the reason why we need to do the investigation, because the clarity is embedded in our ability to investigate what causes our vision to not be clear. So here's a deep one, right? Here's a deep one. If you have kids, nieces and nephews, and young people, and you're over 40, 50, and you're a grandparent, whatever the case is, this is for you. If you're over 40, 50, 60, this is a deep question. This one gonna wake you up out your sleep. If your life became the instruction manual for the next generation, would you proudly hand it to them as is? Ooh. If your life was the instruction manual for the next generation, would you hand the instructions over to the next generation as is? Ooh. That's deep. The way you lived your life, good, bad, and indifferent, if we turned it into a manual with no edits, and I collected it today, will you pass it on as is to the next generation? I'm trying to help somebody. For those of you who have kind of taught yourself to believe that that you're waiting on a breakthrough, and don't take this personal, don't cancel me, but this we need to hear this. We need to hear this. You don't need another breakthrough. You need to stop defending the lie that is blocking the breakthrough. It's already waiting on you. You don't need another breakthrough. You need to stop defending the lie that is blocking it. You got your breakthrough. Most of us don't recognize that we have a wall and we can't see our breakthrough. And we keep praying and our breakthrough is already there. But the lie that we live prevents us from having access to it. So here's a question. What lie have you repeated so many times that it now introduces itself as your personality? Some of this we might get a few days later. What lie have you repeated so many times that it now introduces itself as your personality? For example, I'm just like this. Accept me as I am. I've always been this way. I'm too old. It's too late. Maybe that isn't your personality. Maybe it's your prison. Think about the repeated lies that now introduces itself as your personality. It gets me to hear people say, I've always been this way. I'm too old. It's too late now. I didn't live longer than what I'm going to live. My best years are behind me. It's too late. You created a personality out of those quotes, out of those agreements that you made with yourself. So maybe it's not your personality. Maybe by saying I'm just like this. Maybe by saying I've always been this way. This is always the way it has been. It's too late anyway. I'm too old. Maybe all these things are your prison. Maybe it's your form of incarceration. Some dreams don't die because life killed them. Some dreams die because comfort quietly buried them. What part of your future is waiting on a version of you refuse to become? So dreams don't necessarily die because life kills them. Sometimes they die because your comfort quietly buries them. What part of your future is waiting on a version of you refuse to become? Remember, life is about becoming. We're always becoming. Tonight is not about feel good. It's about having a conversation about the agreement that we made with ourselves. And it's also about the illegitimate contracts that we either made or someone made for us. Remember, in life, we're always becoming. We're always becoming. I don't care how old you are. If you're in your 80s, you're becoming. You're becoming. You die every day and you wake up every day. And every day that you wake up, that's another opportunity there for you to become. What are you not becoming? What lie are you telling yourself? Stop saying that my best days are behind me. Whatever you manifest with your mouth becomes powerful, and you actually manifest it in reality. Be careful what you're saying. The truth of the matter is, it becomes easier for us to become a personality that we could live because the lie is so much easier to live that personality. But the reality of it is you're imprisoned. You are imprisoned by a belief system that allows you to be comfortable. Let's disrupt that comfort. No one ever said that life would be easy. It was intended to be hard. So live it hard. I got a question for you. If your excuses all of a sudden lost their voice tomorrow morning, what would your actions finally have to say? If your excuses lost its voice tomorrow morning, what would your actions finally have to say? It probably may be a party, because your life will be so happy that you got rid of your excuses. Now we can finally live. You know those excuses. I'm too old. I'm too broke. I don't have enough money. I'm just trying to help somebody. I am trying to help somebody. So, all in all, this is an investigation into ourselves to figure out what we need to be doing and what lie that we need to stop living. And sometimes the older adults and the generations before this generation that's all they knew is to say those things. And we adopted them and we believed them. And the truth of the matter is, eating some of the things we used to eat, we recognize that they're not good for us, so we stop. People are living longer. People are being more healthy or more conscious, right? People are taking better care of themselves. People are getting out of bad relationships. People are stopping abuse scenarios sooner than later. People are getting out of narcissistic relationships. People they're putting themselves in situations to not be taken advantage of. So we have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of information. So there's no reason to continue to live a lie that we've been telling ourselves. Right? So for those of us who are carrying grief, and I have a whole lot, unfortunately, a whole lot of people that I coach that are on this network across the globe that are dealing with grief on all levels, whether it's loss of a brother, sister, a cousin, an uncle, a friend, a family member. We all deal with it at some level. And I'm going to say this in no disrespect, but I think we get away from the idea that loss and death are supposed to happen, just like life is supposed to happen. We just get caught up in the realm of how and who. And then we tie age, circumstances, situations, but we're supposed to come and we're supposed to go. So some of you have buried people you deeply love, and your grief is real. It is real. Honor the grief, respect it, but don't let grief become the author of the rest of your story. Ask yourself, what part of the life they believed I was capable to have? And then start believing again. Some of y'all gonna need to play that back. It's okay to invite grief to the table, but don't make it the table. All right? That freed somebody. Somebody needed to hear that tonight. You with me, Elvira? You with me, Eloise? You with me, Mr. Allen Jones? You with me, Richard Caldwell? You with me? All right? Somebody needed to hear that. So, the reason why I had to say that, because grief of a loved one, of a relationship, of a circumstance. See, you grieve when you lose your job. You grieve when you lose a loved one. You grieve when you lose things that are important to you. You grieve. You grieve. And grief is okay. It's okay to be at the table with grief. But don't let it become the table. All right? Here's a question. If we removed every excuse ever given, what evidence will remain? I'm just asking. If we remove every excuse that you have ever given, what evidence will remain? That you're serious about becoming the person that you want to become? I don't know. Are you still becoming? I don't know. So here's the verdict. After the evidence, the court finds that the greatest obstacle isn't your age. It ain't got nothing to do with your education. It's not about your past like you think it is. It's not even about the circumstances. It's the agreement that you've made with staying the same. How many of you have agreed to stay the same and desire change while trying to stay the same? Think about that. So let's not get so locked in on motivation, right? Next week, do me a favor. Bring me some receipts, right? Don't bring excuses. Bring me some receipts. The receipts tell the story. The receipts is where the truth is. You know what I'm saying? What are your receipts showing? In the process of everything that we go through in life, we can always blanket our whys. We always can cover it and mask why we're not doing what we're supposed to do, why we're not showing up the way that we're supposed to show up. We can tell people anything. I want to see the receipts. This is called the clarity project. This is all about us getting clarity. If you got lost somewhere in the shuffle of today's conversation, go back to watch Investigation 1, right? So these are like investigation episodes because we're looking into evidence on why we don't have clarity. And once you see episode 1, Investigation 1, you'll be able to see exactly where this conversation is coming from. But feel free, ask a question if you have. I would love to answer it. Some of y'all made some good comments I didn't get a chance to get to. Thanks, MJ, for joining. Sent all the love and all the hearts. Just keep becoming. Keep becoming. And stop signing these illegitimate agreements, right? I know it's backwards on TikTok, but stop with the agreements. Stop agreeing to being things that you are better than, that you are not. God's not done with you. If he was, then you wouldn't be able to hear my voice. So no, you're not too old. This is not how it ends for you, but you got to do something, and you got to get involved into the change that you want to see. All right. So check out the Clarity Project every single Tuesday. We're going to do probably about 10 different investigations. And the goal is for us to get clarity. If you're wearing the wrong prescription, then you won't be able to see clear. You need to know exactly where you're going. And once you understand where you come from, where you're going should be much more clear. Take this information. And somebody did me a favor, which was really cool. They posted an old clip of mine from 2 years ago. And basically, and I'm going to reiterate this, is people believe knowledge is power. Okay, I'm going to push back on that. I don't believe knowledge alone is power. See, you can absorb all the information you choose. You can learn, you can get the highest level of education possible. Your PhD, you can have a double master's. You can get all the knowledge that the world has to offer. That will not give you power in itself. It's the application of the knowledge that gives you power. So I don't know what you're sitting on, or what you know, or what you have learned, and who have poured into you, and what life have taught you. If you're not applying the lessons learned, then you're powerless. Knowledge is only powerful. Knowledge is only powerful when it's being applied. Take that with you.